It's been a minute, but we're back. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to make the most of Q4 at your gym. So we're probably like 2 weeks out from it, 2 weeks out from the last 3 months of the year, right? And so now is a time where you should be planning what your approach is for the quarter. So if you don't do quarterly planning, that's fine. But I'd get into the habit of doing it, right? If you are watching this and you're in my program, the last entire lesson of it is dedicated to strategic planning, right? And creating your strategic plan for the year. And we break that down to quarterly objectives, then we break it down to monthly goals, and then we break it down to weekly commitments, right? And by doing those, what the idea is, guys, that we spend enough time creating a really well thought out plan that if we accomplish everything that's on our plan, it would be unreasonable to not hit the goals that lead up to getting those things done, right? Because then it just comes down to execution, right? And how well you execute it. And that's where we either execute it really well and we hit those goals, or we learn. We learn from it and we learn from our mistakes and we correct it for the next time. Or you just don't execute it, but then that's telling as well. Like, how bad do you really want to accomplish the things that you say you want to accomplish when you are not doing the work? And the work needs to get done, right? And so the amount of work is completely dependent upon your goals. If you have very modest goals, it's not going to be a ton of work, right? If you have very aggressive goals and you want to scale and you want to make big moves and things like that, well, then the work that's associated with hitting those goals needs to be aligned with the amount of effort it's probably going to take to make big things happen. So, anyways, let's talk about the last 3 months of a plan like that. And so for me, I this is what I like to do, right? And you can do it however you want. But this is what's worked really well for me because I want to get that last push for the year. I want to get that last pop of revenue and really finish the year off as strong as I can. Because usually it's tied to some kind of revenue goal. Usually when I'm doing my strategic plan at my gym, um, I'm creating a revenue goal, a profit goal, a freedom goal. So like what am I, like what do I have to do personally as the owner, and what level of freedom have I achieved that year? And then a goal for my team, right? And so what do I want my team to look like, and what do I want them to have accomplished, right? And those are usually the goals that I set up for the year. Sometimes I have a members goal too, like a amount of transformations that we accomplish, or things like that, and I kind of just tie my profit and revenue goals into each other, but I usually have four goals. And so to finish off strong with that strategy, October, I like to run a big members event, right? And so for us, and this is in the training as well, it's exact. I show you exactly how I run it and exactly what I do, and there's all the deliverables, but we run a charity boot camp where we raffle off a whole bunch of prizes, right? We do it for a breast cancer awareness charity that we like. And what we normally do is promote it for like 3 weeks, right? And then we run it the last weekend, the last Saturday of the month in October. But what it allows us to do is get a lot of non-members at the gym because you don't need to do the actual workout to participate in the event. Like, we're raffling off a whole bunch of really cool prizes that we're collecting from the local businesses in our area, right? And so what I like to do is I'll go and I'll order like usually like 15 to 20 baskets, just baskets, right? Um, and I used to go to Goodwill and get them when I didn't have enough money to like spend on events. Um, you can get baskets, basically those little wicker basket, any baskets that you think look nice, probably like this big ish, right? And I would drop them off at local businesses around my gym, and I'd say, hey, we're running an event for charity on Saturday. the whatever 21st, would you be able to fill this basket up with some stuff that we could raffle off, right, and help you guys get some business too? And I'll be back, next Saturday to pick it up. Is that okay? Can you do something like that for us? And almost all the businesses will say yeah, and they'll do their best to like throw together something, a t-shirt, and some do a really good job because they want to advertise their business too. Right. So again, it's legwork. It's putting in the work. Now you could delegate this to your coaches. You could, I remember last year or 2 years ago, we made it like a trainer task. If you don't know what that is, basically it's things that we ask our coaches to do, and in exchange for doing them, they can win like monthly bonuses and stuff like that. But one of it was they had to bring a basket in, right? That they had to go out and get filled up from a local business or whatever. So we kind of spread out the amount of work, but we certainly always end up with 15 to 20 baskets. Some businesses, they know it's a write-off, so they will say, hey, they give a basket and then write off, however many $100 they thought the value of it was for or whatever. But it allows you to get a whole bunch of stuff that you can raffle off, and it doesn't cost you anything, right? It's just time. And so we would set those up. We'd wrap them in plastic, the clear plastic, and put a bow on them. And then we would put like a little mason jar in front of them, and we would sell tickets. We would sell raffle tickets for like 3 weeks straight. And you just write their name on, one of them, or get the ones with the matching numbers. And people can buy tickets. We had dollar baskets, $5 baskets, and $20 baskets, just depending on what the value was. The gym always had one too. But guys, I'm telling you, we would raise thousands of dollars, right, for these charities because we would blow it up. We would promote it. We would get as many people in as we could. We'd encourage all of our members to bring their family, friend, coworkers. We would have a food truck there. And again, guys, most food trucks, they will do it for free, right? Because the people are paying them directly, right? So you don't have to cater out like meals and stuff. It's going to cost you too much money, right? Unless your gym just has all this profit that you need to blow, but that's not the case for most of us, right? And so you're kind of just orchestrating everything, but you're not actually spending money. And what you'll get out of it is a big guest registry. Everybody that comes in needs to sign in, right? So you'll get their name, phone number, email. Your members don't have to sign in. But at our gym, what we do is anybody that's inside of the building, it's the first thing they have to do is sign in, right? Because it's a liability waiver. Like even if they're not working out, like someone could slip on, I don't know, your rubber flooring or whatever, you know what I mean? And or if they're working out, certainly. So we just make it a best practice of everybody signs in. You can do it on a Kindle, you can do it on an iPad, we do a clipboard with paper, right? But we have this amazing event. We raise thousands for charity. We end up having a bunch of good publicity. We share it on Facebook. The charity that we send the money to, the proceeds. So I always send the proceeds, meaning that if I have to pay my staff or anything like that to be there, I send what is left over after I pay them, right? And so it's usually almost the whole entire amount, besides like whatever the hourly wage is. And most of the time, my coaches want to be there, right? So we just send the entire amount. And so what we do is we're able to reach out to everybody that was a guest. And then we put them into our lead nurture sequence that we have in the lead center. And a lot of them end up scheduling appointments and coming in and signing up. So this event is a great way to get referrals because believe it or not, like the hardest part of joining a gym is like stepping in there for the first time, right? Once you're in that gym and you're part of this amazing environment and people are having a lot of fun and working out hard and you're like, man, dude, I should be doing something like this. Like I should be here doing this too, right? And that first step of like the unknown, like what are the people going to be like there? What are the workers going to be like? That all of that gets answered, right? And it becomes so much easier for them to come back in again, versus the first time. And so we end up getting a lot of members out of that. I would certainly do something like that in October. And again, you can do other stuff to generate leads, but I would have one main goal for October, one main goal for November, and one main goal for December, and just execute hard. You don't have to do a million different things. Just pick something and execute hard, right? So do that in October. Have a blast. Donate. You know, get all of your coaches involved. Get as many people involved as you can. Get really cool baskets. Put in the work. Raffle off. Get some really cool like $20 tables that we did, and make it fun. November. What I like to do is a 3-week members challenge. I call it the Beast Before the Feast. So usually Thanksgiving is like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, something like that, somewhere around there, right? And so what we do is after the event of October, that next week, what we're doing is we got all the breast cancer awareness stuff. All of that's down. It's not up in the gym anymore, right? All the posters and sign up sheets. Now what we have that we just put up, and it's literally the next day, is our 3-week, our 21-day Beast Before the Feast challenge, right? This is for members, and they can bring a +1 with them, and then that +1 would get 50% off, and the member would get 50% off. So it's still the same price as if they didn't bring somebody, but it's just being split by them. All right, that's the incentive to get referrals. Also, you'll just get a lot of members that'll just pay the full price because this is a strength and muscle building workshop that is different than like the normal classes that you guys offer or your normal workouts. This has to be different. Usually what we do at our gym is more of a high intensity plyometric. We have like cardio kickboxing, boot camps, all of that kind of stuff. We don't really focus too much on strength and hypertrophy and building muscle, and like that's really not our core thing, but it certainly is for this workshop, right? And so we pick 2 to 3 days out of the week where anybody that signs up for this 21-day challenge, they attend those classes. And it is very much, we're going to be pushing them. They're going to be lifting heavy stuff. It's not going to be 20 people in a class. It's going to be like 6, right? It's a workshop, semi-private, right? And we are going to teach them, why we're going to focus heavy on form. We're going to focus on doing movements that they don't normally do in our classes and then teaching them a lot, like a workshop teaches, right? And so we're going to be doing that as well. And we're normally selling these for $199, right? $199 for the 3 weeks. It's in addition to their membership because it's different than their membership, right? We'll give them a nutrition plan to follow during that 3 weeks, which is literally just like a macro split of like 50% protein, 30% carbs and 20% fat, or whatever you 40-40-20, like guys, whatever macro split you think is appropriate for trying to put on muscle. And so that's the kind of the whole agenda behind this one. And so we just help them out with a meal plan. All of that stuff's in the program. This whole thing's in the program too, by the way. And so we normally have a goal of like selling like 20 of those, 20-ish, because then we can break it up between 2 classes per person per week for the 3 weeks. So it's a total of 6 classes where we usually focus on a muscle group, right? Where they're really learning, whether it's, lower body type stuff, pushing stuff, pulling stuff, compound movements versus like functional type stuff. Either way, we're kind of breaking it up and programming it out to where 20 people, well, technically 24 people would give you like a semi-private 6-on-1 type of environment if you had 4 classes through the week, right? Which is what we do. So then, and we don't really offer a lot of semi-private outside of these workshops, so it works out really well. But again, $200 times 24 is $4,800, right, of cash. So you're going to receive $4,800 of cash. And you probably, some of that will be split between new members that aren't members of your gym, right? They're just coming in for this workshop, and then it's very easy to resell them, right? And so that's our strategy for November. And then what we do is we pair that, we butt that all the way up to Black Friday, right? Because it's Beast Before the Feast, and the feast is obviously Thanksgiving, and Black Friday is the next day, right? And so then we immediately launch our Black Friday campaign, which if you don't know what that is, it's in the course, it's in the program. It's really fucking cool. It works really well. Just use that, like freaking copy and paste, right? You'll generate, usually guys are generating 20, 30, 40, 50 grand from Black Friday. It depends on your need for cash, right? If you need a lot of cash, then you can do steeper discounts. If you don't really need a lot of cash, then you can just encourage people to jump onto a membership, which then builds up like your recurring revenue. Okay. So that's November, right? Do Beast Before the Feast with that kind of workshop, semi-private, and then run it right into Black Friday, right? Then finally for December, December is tough because of the holidays, but what we like to do is leverage the fact that everybody's going to get started in January and tell people. So this is a reactivation campaign. This is an SMS and an email campaign that we're going to be running. We do also run like bring a toy and or a coat or food. We have three. This is in the course too. I keep saying this, but this is in the course too. It's our holiday give back boot camp. So we have three big boxes: toys, coats, and food. And then this is literally just to give back to our community. This has nothing to do with making money. But if even non-members drop off a toy, a food item, or a coat, they can do our boot camps for the entire month. Or actually up until when we go donate it, which I think is like the week before or 10 days before in our area, right? So we announced that, hey, from December 1st to like the 15th, first half of the month, if you bring a toy, a coat, or some food and drop it in one of the boxes, you can jump into boot camp. Whether you're a member or not, we don't care, right? And so, but the thing that actually helps us hit our business goals, not to mention that they have to sign in, right? They have to sign in if they're non-members. So when they sign in, after this is done, we put them into our campaign that nurtures them and gets them into the gym to sign up, right? Always capturing this stuff. But finally, we have a reactivation campaign that we call the Get Going Transformation, and it comes with our go-getter discounts, right? All this means it's early bird specials, right? And we are going to be upfront with them saying, look, guys, we're not discounting in January, right? So if you're waiting to get started on your New Year's resolution, like now is the time, because there are so many people that come to our gym in January, like we don't need a discount, right? We have our hands full. Right. Everybody wants to get in amazing shape January, February. Right. And so by all means, like you're more than welcome to come in January, February, and we would love to help you. But if you want that exact same program for 10% less or 20% less, whatever you want to give your discount on your program, we are offering those discounts right now up until December 31st. After December 31st, they go away. Right. And so we do a big campaign and we push that out. And so that usually captures the people that were kind of waiting until January. And we tell them, like, look, your membership doesn't start until January 1st. You're just locking in your price now. You're locking in your 2022 price now before it goes up. And you are able to buy up to 12 months at this price. Okay. Guys, these campaigns, it's your gym. You can change it. You can change the amount of discounts. You can change the length. The strategy works really well for this time of year. So if you do those three things, October, November, December, I guarantee you will clean up in quarter four. It will be one of your best quarters of the year. And really, it just comes down to executing, right? It just comes down to how much you put into it, right? Some guys will say, like, look, I only got 10 members from 10 new members in quarter four. And some people will be like, I got 40 new members in quarter four, right? Using the same strategy. Okay, well, if the strategy is the same, then what's the variable? the level of which you executed it, right? Did you have 4 tables with 4 baskets, or did you have 20 baskets? Did you promote the hell out of it on Facebook? Like when I make an event, I make it a public Facebook event where people can mark like interested or going, and then I get everybody to share it. I make my coaches share it. I post it all the time. Man, I pass out sign up sheets and then +1s after every single class we run. Hey, Susie, sign up for the event. Hey, write your neighbor's name. I don't even care if you talk to them yet, right? Like we are promoting the hell out of this stuff. We promote hard, right? It's for a good cause and it helps our business and everybody on the team's involved, right? Or did you put up a couple Facebook posts and expect it to just fucking book out, right? It all comes down to the level of which you do things, right? But the strategy is sound. Right. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you can use this to help finish the year strong. If you are not doing strategic planning and you're kind of just winging stuff, like, man, that is a freaking tough way to run a business, right? It just is. Like, I've always done strategic planning because for me, I just need to, like, always be following a plan. I like to sit down and think about, like, man, where would I like to be in 12 months from now? And like, what would I need to do to get there? Right. And I sometimes I think for a long time because I'm like, fuck, that wouldn't work. Okay, that might work. Right. Okay, that would work, but I'm not able to do that because I got the kids at school. And I think of all the variables until I'm done. And I'm like, okay, this looks legit. Like this looks like something I could actually do. Right. Like I can see myself doing all of this. I can see like, then it literally just comes down to how bad do you want it, right? And knowing that stuff happens, but you adjust. And so if you're not doing any kind of strategic planning and you're kind of just, winging it, asking people what's working now, like, man, it's just a tough way to run your business. So anyways, appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments and I can help you out. See you in the next one.